So Wolves can make it 6 wins in a row against Leicester, and let's hope we can do it, because I don't think we'll be seeing it again anytime soon. As we know, the last time we won 5 in a row was back in 1970, so that just proves how hard it is to do in the top division. But quickly before I get into the video, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, which I know like around 40% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed, please do it, it's free. And I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2025, and it really helps the channel. Cheers. We've got to be favourites going into this one, and the old boy, kind of Coady, coming back to town. It'd be interesting to see what reception he gets, because if you remember in January, he was heavily linked with a move back to Wolves from Leicester with a swap deal with Craig Dawson, but it fell through. But Coady was very keen on the move, if reports are to be believed. So I think he'll get a good reception. He's still loved within the Wolves fan base. And obviously last time out, Leicester did actually get relegation confirmed when they lost against Liverpool. And Coady, forever the leader, stood up to the media and he said it how it is. He wasn't impressed at all.
Listen, I think for the first part of your question, yeah, it's felt like listen, we've not been good enough all year. We haven't. We look at today, and I thought we played quite well today. I thought we moved the ball well. I thought we nullified Liverpool. Listen, Liverpool are a world-class side, but we look back on the season and it's not been anywhere near good enough from our point of view, from a club's point of view. But we've got to look at ourselves as players in the mirror.
Yeah, as you can see there, spoke well. He spoke well for Wolves in interviews too. I'm sure the Leicester fans are frustrated, and you can see Coady's frustrated there. And Vardy also put out a post on his social media, a bit of a statement, very honest, and said it's a shit show. And
Vardy has actually announced, after 13 years at Leicester, he will be leaving at the end of the season. Had a great career, hasn't he? Let's be honest. They signed him for £1 million. And do you know what, Vardy? He's one of those players, if he's playing for you, you probably love him. But if he's playing against you, he winds the opponents up, doesn't he? If you remember, he did the bird celebration at Crystal Palace that once, which is hilarious. Taunted the Sheffield United fans when he scored there, and yeah, he did the howling celebration at the Wolves fans a few years ago. So he'll be up for it. It's the first game since he's announced he's leaving, obviously on big wages, coming to the end of his contract. He is still going to continue playing, as said at the end of the tribute video he put out on his own channel, saying goodbye to the Leicester fans.
Finally, this isn't retirement. I want to keep playing and doing what I enjoy most, scoring goals. Hopefully there's 1 or 2 more for Leicester between now and the end of the season, and many more in the future. I might be 38, but I've still got the desire and ambition to achieve so much more. Thank you forever. Thoughts?
Yeah, so end of an era. Jamie Vardy to leave Leicester, 38 years of age. Best of luck to him and the rest of his career, but let's just hope Agbadou and other players can keep him in their pocket at the weekend at Molineux.
What is it, 10 years ago Leicester won the league? Less than that when they won the FA Cup a few years later as well. And yeah, they've yo-yoed a bit, but you'd think they'd have competed a bit better this season, but they've been dreadful. Honestly, they have been dreadful. It's been a really bad bottom 3, and I think it's just going to get weaker and weaker as time goes on and the gap gets bigger from the Championship. And I think a big mistake Leicester actually made was getting Ruud van Nistelrooy in. They weren't doing too bad, were they? At first, they were above Wolves when Vitor Pereira took over. We were 5 points behind Leicester. Ruud got off to a half decent start. If you think back then, I think he won his first game, but then it all fell apart. And yeah, as we know, they couldn't really get anything going. I think he's going to get the sack now, and Wolves have got to go into this game thinking we can get all 3 points, especially after the way we've been playing. Although last time against Man United wasn't the most convincing performance, you'd think at home against Leicester with the crowd bouncing, probably be almost a sellout. You'd expect Wolves to try and get the 3 points. Now, let's just look back at the head-to-head meeting between Leicester and Wolves in the Premier League history. So there's been 13 Premier League meetings. Wolves have only won 4 of them. There's been 4 draws. And interestingly, every single one of those 4 draws in the Premier League against Leicester have been 0-0 draws. So maybe put a bet on for that, you never know. And Leicester have actually won 5 of the 13 meetings. 2 of Wolves' wins have been 4-3. Everybody remembers the dramatic, historic 4-3 win back in the 03-04 season. 3-0 down at half-time. We came back to win 4-3 from a late Henry Kamara goal, who sat on his arse on the ball and put it into the back of the net, if you remember. The other 4-3 was when Jota scored last minute and Nuno ran on the pitch, if you remember that one. Back when Leicester were a decent team, to be fair. And as you know, in the reverse fixture this season, we beat them 3-0 at the King Power in Vitor Pereira's very first game. He'd only been in the club 2 days, and it was a very convincing win. At the time, it was a massive win, because as I mentioned, we were 5 points behind on going into that game. So that kick-started the amazing run we've been on now, and now we find ourselves at the dizzy heights of outside the bottom 3. Now, with the starting 11, interesting this one, because obviously Santi Bueno and Mateus Cunha and Bentley came into the team through injuries. So if you go on previous logic, I'd say don't change a winning team. But in saying that, I think if Doherty's fully fit, I think he will slot back in for Santi Bueno. Harsh, I know. And that's probably what I would do, because he did come on, didn't he, off the bench against Man United. The Bellegarde debate, personally, obviously at time of recording, I don't know, it's midweek. We'll probably find out more in Vitor Pereira's press conference. But I personally think he'll start Cunha again. Just while we're talking about the Cunha debate, whether he should start or not, look at this graphic the BBC put up, with and without. We've got a 62% winning percentage without him. Yes, it's only 13 games, but stats are stats. We've done all right without him. And that's why I think not many Wolves fans are overly upset with the fact that he will be going in the summer, because we've shown in that run without him, the 4 games he was banned, that we can pick up points going into next season. But then you've got arguments whether Sarabia deserves a start after scoring that free kick. I think Bellegarde will be on the bench if he's fit enough to be selected. I think he'll just put him back on the bench because, yeah, obviously missing out, ease him back in, maybe bring him on second half. Although I did think we really missed Bellegarde against Man United. We missed his energy and his press. And I think Sarr will come back in as well if he's fit. So, as you can see from my team there, that's what I'd go for. I'd put Sarr back in. I'd go Doherty right centre-back. And, yeah, I'd stick with Cunha. I would. Although, with all the news of him going to Man United this week, I understand a lot of fans saying don't play Cunha, but I would. I think he's got his head down in the last few games and just got on with it. His representatives are making all the noise, but I wouldn't be against Sarabia or Bellegarde starting, obviously. Not at all. Yeah, so the rest is as you were. Shouts for Rodrigo Gomez, maybe, to slot in. But no, I think he'll be on the bench and come on again and use his energy late on. Well, my score prediction. Now, let's go with my head. Now, I'm not as confident. This might sound stupid, but it's what I feel. I'm not as confident going into this one as I was going into Man United. Let me explain myself. I just feel like this is a banana skin. Leicester are already down. They probably want to give their fans something to shout about. All the shackles are off, so they'll probably just go for it. And I think we could potentially see an upset. So what I'm going to say is with my head, I'm going to say this is a 1-1 draw. Sorry for the party pooper, but I feel like we're going to go into it thinking it's going to be easier than it actually is. With my heart, 4-1. 4-1 Wolves. The 4-1, let's go Manetzi, Strand Larsen, and a Cunha double. That's what I think in my heart. So yeah, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. As you know, I'm after 10,000 subscribers and it really helps the show. And please comment your thoughts on my team selection and everything else I've discussed. And I'll catch you next video. Appreciate it, everyone. Cheers.